The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. What's going on, y'all? It's time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here. We got our guy Augustine hanging out with us. I think what I need to do is create new imaging for the show. It's like the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, and then parenthetically, and Augustine.
And the AP, the
premier athlete.
The premier athlete. You need to keep that straight. Come on, buddy. It's not like I'm wearing a cap or something to the show. Anyway.
All right, Augustine. So we've got a lot of stuff that we can talk about in the world of sports today. I mean, the coaching carousel has been going crazy. Obviously, we have the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship coming up this weekend. The college football playoff came to an end in what was one of the most amazing games I've seen in college football in a while that didn't go to overtime.
And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Fernando Mendoza won when Trump was there. It just boggles the mind.
I think my favorite thing that came out of that was it was like a quote. It was like, how crazy is it that a Cuban-born player is able to win the national championship and have ice in his veins while Trump is there to watch? I was like, that is great. That is absolutely great.
You didn't say that right, Tipton. You didn't say it right.
Uh-oh.
Say it right. Bring 47 out. Bring 47 out.
Is now the time for me to do that?
I want Denmark. Anyway.
Oh God, we got other things we need to worry about than that.
More important things and more realistic things, by the way.
Yes. Anyway. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of sports, right? We just had what was for the most part, a great divisional round in the NFL. Your Patriots took belt to ass against the Houston Texans, which I was on your side on Saturday. I said, yep, this is what's going to happen. And it ultimately came through and happened. The one thing that I would say, if it's a healthy Texans team, maybe it's a little different. But again, if my aunt had a penis, she'd be my uncle. So ifs don't mean shit. What are your thoughts on that game, Augustine?
No, but I think you're right to a certain extent, but I think it goes deeper than that. I think if CJ Stroud isn't a deer in the headlights, um, it's a different game because I don't know. The last 4 or 5 games, CJ just looked terrified. And in any kind of sport, if you're even somewhat afraid, you're done. And now the question comes to mind: does this continue like this for next year? Is CJ Stroud now touched by an angel, the angel of death, whenever he steps onto the football field? Because that was not normal. I mean, for an NFL type quarterback, that kind of expression was not normal at all, Tip. I mean, you saw it. You saw, I mean, as soon as he saw the defensive line, he was like, and his expression of just walking away from it was that of a lost man.
I think we've seen a steady decline with CJ Stroud over the last couple of years, right? Like, again, only been in the NFL for 3 years, so take with that what you want. A lot of that does have to do with injuries. Tank Dell had that massive injury last season. Nico Collins went out for the majority of last season. Stephon Diggs went out for the majority of last season as well, right? This year, you're expecting the Texans to retool. Nico Collins was healthy for the majority of the year. Tank Dell kind of was in and out. Dalton Schultz stepped up for them. Then you get into the divisional round against the Patriots, and they're just a hurt team. That's not an excuse for anybody, but it's something that you can kind of lean on and say, okay, well, if a quarterback doesn't have his weapons, maybe, right? Like it gives you that little bit of a caveat. But how many times have we seen a quarterback who doesn't have a full slate of weapons that can propel a team to excellence? We've seen it with Patrick Mahomes. To a certain extent, we saw it with Josh Allen. Like, there's not really great receiving in Buffalo. And we saw it with, like, Tom Brady. We saw it with a bunch of other quarterbacks back in the day, right? The quarterback made the receiver, not the other way around. Yeah. And we're just not seeing that with CJ Stroud.
Yeah, no, completely agreed. And having good wide receivers helps because you can throw it at the somewhat direction of them. They're going to make the catch. But you still have to, step into that throw, take the hit, make decisions. And CJ Stroud just did not do that for the last 4 games, if I remember correctly. So I don't know, Tip. It's just is this is a turning point for CJ Stroud. Either he goes up and takes the Texans another, to a different kind of echelon. Did I say that right?
Echelon, yeah.
Yeah, there. Thank you. Gracias, Tipton. Gracias. But it's also the other way, and you said it right now. If he keeps digressing, now whose fault is that? Coaching, or is it just attitude, lack of?
I think it takes a little bit of everything, right? Like, the Houston Texans are a really good team. Let's not forget that. Like, Jacksonville had to play out of their minds in order to win that division. This division should have been Houston's all season long. They did. They're a solid team, but they're
a solid defensive team.
I mean, you could have said that about like those early Patriots teams, right? Like, they're very solid defensive teams, but the quarterback, when it was the biggest moment, was able to step up and do what the quarterback is needing to do, what we always expect the quarterback to do, which is win the big game, show up in that moment. It's what Josh Allen hasn't done. It's what CJ Stroud hasn't done. And, to a certain extent, like Jared Goff, like you could see a bunch of these quarterbacks that have been in the NFL for an extended period of time that just haven't stepped up the way that we as fans expect them to step up, right? Like, that's the biggest issue here. And for me, CJ Stroud, I can't blame it on coaching whenever this is a team that for the last 3 out of 4 years with DeMeco Ryans as their head coach has won the division.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So here's the question for everybody out there, and you can call us at sorry, wrong show. I'm kidding. did CJ Stroud reach his pinnacle last year? And how dangerous is it for the Texans to keep him right now and not to trade him and try to get somebody, maybe a replacement, maybe somebody else? Because I really don't think CJ Stroud is going to recoup from this.
Man, I guess for me, it's too early to say that, right? Because we wrote off Geno Smith. Geno Smith was able to make a pretty decent career. We wrote off Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's been able to make a pretty decent career. The biggest one that always sticks out to me is we all wrote off Alex Smith. And Alex Smith was a really good quarterback for the 49ers and for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't know if I'm ready to write off CJ Stroud right now, but I cannot blame anybody that wants to. Right?
But those quarterbacks you mentioned were great. The only thing that those quarterbacks didn't have, they did not have fear in their eyes.
Yeah. And I think that's the main thing that you look at, right? You see the way that CJ Stroud, his body language, that's such a huge thing. He looked overwhelmed in the playoffs against Pittsburgh, not even against New England, against Pittsburgh. They were like, it took a pitiful performance from the Steelers in order to let the Texans move on.
Yep.
And then whenever the Texans came up against a team like New England, which is a very solid team, and I've been telling you all season long, like I like their chances. Now that they're in the playoffs and the only team standing in front of them right now is the Denver Broncos, which we'll talk about in a little bit, it just seems like the road for the Patriots is golden right now until they get to the Super Bowl. Jesse Carter saying, I think the Texans, like the Bills, have peaked. Jacksonville has more growth potential due to their completeness. I would agree with that. That's the reason why I chose Jacksonville to win the division this year. And honestly, if I'm looking at it right now as well, I can see Jacksonville maybe not winning 13 games like they did this year, but I can see them winning the division again, and I can see the Texans taking another step back. What's up, Tommy? Hope you're having a great day, my guy.
What's up, Tommy? And the thing is, Jacksonville has a real quarterback.
But that's the thing, right? Like, as recently as last year and earlier this year, people were writing off Trevor Lawrence.
Yep. Until they saw that long hair.
Oh, that beautiful long hair.
That beautiful long hair. I don't know. That division to me it's
wide open.
Yeah. And if Jacksonville, with Grey Poupon.
I'll say Jacksonville sounds amazing. Like that sounds like a delicious dish.
Yeah. I was remembering, back in the day, Facebook, and all you had was that village where the Farmville.
Farmland, yeah. Oh wow, we're old.
No, you're old. I'm just curated.
Curated. I like that.
But the key here, and I think while you're drinking your light beer, I'm having my tea. It is that once you get your deer in the headlights moment, I don't think there's anything coming back from that. The fear has sipped into CJ Stroud's head, and that's a feeling you don't get out of there easy. It takes a lot of time, a lot of psychological help and all that. He's done. He is done.
I'd love to disagree with you, but even if I name off like Sam Darnold or Mac Jones or any of these other guys out there, I don't think I've seen a quarterback have that look in their eyes when it came down to crunch time. And it wasn't just, again, like it wasn't just against New England, which was an overwhelming defense. The amount of fumbles he had, the miscommunications they had in Pittsburgh, they were lucky. Like, I know the score was 30-6 when they beat Pittsburgh. It wasn't a 30-6 game. Like, that defense is a reason why they won that game that badly.
Yeah, no, completely agreed. And I think we should go to the winners of that game and tell you that for anybody thinking that the Denver Broncos have a chance, what are you smoking? I mean, with Bo Nix, they had a decent shot. With Bo Nix, handling, and him not being scared of the other of the defense, they had a legitimate shot. Now you got Stedham, Stedham, How do you say it, Tip?
Stidham.
That one. He hasn't played a game since when, Tip?
He hasn't played a game since 2023.
Wow. Wow. And I got some friends that are Denver Broncos fans, and I'm sorry, since Elway, I think it was the last time they won. Was it, Tip?
The Broncos, Peyton Manning, but I mean, Frank. It was Frank and Manning. They had an amazing defense. Like they were a much better all around team than what the Broncos are now. And again, the Broncos beating the Buffalo Bills 33-30 in overtime. We've already kind of hinted at it. The Bills, this might have been their plateau. They already fired Sean McDermott. They don't have the all-around talent that they had just a couple of years ago, obviously because of the amount of money they paid Josh Allen. There's going to be other contracts that are going to have to come up for that team. I think they've peaked. I don't think that they are going to be a legitimate Super Bowl contender moving forward. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't feel that that's going to be a thing.
The Bills are a great team for fantasy, and that's it.
It's the same thing with the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like they'll put up amazing points, but they're not going to win where it matters. The Dallas Cowboys were a great fantasy team. A great fantasy team.
I'm looking to where are the Cowboys and they are going to go to the Super Bowl in the stands. Let's keep them there. No, but
the Broncos win now. I just really hope the Broncos win. Actually, no. You know what? No. Again, the way that I am, because I'm such a good friend. I hope the New England Patriots make it to the Super Bowl and lose in double overtime, just the most heartbreaking way they possibly can.
But we're there.
Doesn't matter. You have to win the whole thing.
We're there. We don't have a 1-star rating in our helmets. That's the most important thing.
There is a star, like a single star on the helmet for the Patriots.
Don't try to put that other team in this conversation. Come on.
I'm not. You said you didn't have a 1-star rating in your helmet, and you do. There is 1 star on the New England Patriots helmet.
Well, because we have 5-star. I'm just going to Google it and ask how many stars do we have on Google? It's probably 5 stars. But anyway, you say that and we're saying it just nonchalantly that they're going to get killed. That might be the case, but I don't count Sean Payton out. That's the thing. He might come up with some weird schemes, and he's done it before.
And that's where I was like, I like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. It's insane to me that right now Mike Vrabel is the longest tenured coach in the AFC East, and he's been there for a year and 12 days. Like that's a wild thing to think about. But I would give the coaching edge to Sean Payton because we've seen him win, and he's won. I mean, this Denver team, like even though it's Jared Stidham out there at quarterback,
who?
Jared Stidham. You have to get ready. You have to get used to the name, Jared Stidham. They're going to say it a lot. Stidham. You still have Cortland Sutton. You still have you have some talent there. It all lands on the quarterback's shoulders, and right now I can't see a scenario where Jared Stidham, ushers a fourth quarter comeback, and I can't see a scenario where the Broncos come out in the first quarter and slap the Patriots around and wind up getting like a 30-point lead just right off the bat.
I'm just saying that the Broncos have that kind of coach, and he may come up with some kind of scheme. Like he may go, some sort of gun with double tight end, double running back, and just do pulls and all that, and they might be competitive, and that's Sean Payton, and Vrabel is very square. He's very square. So that would be probably the only advantage right now that the Broncos have. And I'm predicting, this is my prediction, a 27-14 27-10 Patriot win.
27-10. I mean, I can see it. Like I said this before we started the show. If the Patriots score 13 points, I think that's going to be insurmountable for this version of the Denver Broncos, which really sucks because Bo Nix breaking his ankle on the second to last play of the game, which is just the worst way to do it. And again, like, it was such a weird way to take a knee.
Yeah, and I kept looking at that play over and over and over to see. I couldn't see if he got stepped on. I couldn't see if he went wrong. I didn't see it.
It was strange to me. Like everything about it was just strange. I said it yesterday. I think he sold his soul to the devil, and the devil was like, "All right, well now I'm taking your chances at winning a Super Bowl."
The guy with the shortest name ever, Bo Nix.
So that's not a quarterback name. You have to believe though. So I mean, at least you got that. Where that was stupid. Y'all deserve a better joke than that. I am looking it up right now.
Don't Bo Nix it.
The spread right now, and this is wild. The Patriots are a 5.5-point favorite on the road. To answer Tommy's question right now, on the road, the Patriots are a 5.5-point favorite. If you follow anything when it comes to betting or fantasy games or anything like that, the home team always gets between 2.5 to 3 points just for being the home team. They're like, the home field advantage gets you this. That shows you that even Vegas right now is like, with that 2 points we give you, if this was a neutral site, it would be a 7.5 to an 8-point difference on who would win that game. And the money's going with the Patriots. And maybe I take the money on the Broncos to cover the spread because 6 points, right? Like maybe they could find a way. The Broncos do have a good defense. Maybe they can make it close. But my money's on the Patriots, man. Like there's no way you can do it. Jesse Carter saying he's going more hardcore than you are. I think the game goes 34-14 in favor of the Patriots. The Patriots have an identity as well. With Nix being gone, Peyton will have to outcoach with a tremendous deficit in talent under quarterback. Rely on your run game, but the Patriots have a really solid run game. So that's going to be a tough thing to overcome. A really good run defense.
But now let's talk about probably the real Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, the game that will honestly define who wins the Super Bowl.
Well, let's talk about how the teams got there, right? So we have the Seattle Seahawks. They just beat the brakes off the San Francisco 49ers. Great season, San Francisco. You got to make it there. You were bitten by all kinds of just bad things that happened to you. But ultimately, the better team right there really showed out that they were the better team. Taking that opening kickoff all the way to the end zone was just a great way to start. And they didn't have to score after that. They would have won with just that touchdown. That's the crazy thing about that. They didn't have to do jack shit else until that moment or after that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, that as soon as that play happened, I said, this is over. honestly said, it's over. And I said it before that the only way that the 49ers have that legitimate shot to win is if McCaffrey had, that day where he rushes for 200 and catches 2 touchdown passes and whatever. And he was even out. He was out because he was injured again. I think he was out in the by halftime. So there's really nothing more to say there. Just I think we're going to beat a dead horse. Yeah, you're completely right. San Francisco had one heck of a season with being with they were like carrying a hospital to other games, but no. I mean, even San Francisco said, they said, yeah, we're lucky to be here, and they did, and let's not take anything away from them, but the better team won.
The one thing that I will say about the 49ers is thank you for beating the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all I care about. Thank you for beating the Philadelphia Eagles. You got that ass kicked the next round. I'm happy. Both the Eagles and the 49ers have been eliminated. The Steelers have been eliminated. All the teams I hate are gone. So I'm a happy guy right now, right? Like, I don't care what happens in the Super Bowl. Just let's go out there. Everybody have fun. That's all I care about right now. The next game on that slate is the Bears at home losing to the LA Rams 20-17 in overtime. Caleb Williams making one of the most amazing throws I've seen a quarterback make in quite some time to even get the Bears to overtime. And then while in overtime, one of the dumbest throws I've seen a quarterback ever make. Like, that was the true Caleb Williams experience that you got right there. What were your thoughts about that game? Because the LA Rams, to me, I've said it this whole time. I've said it all season long, Augustine. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL left. They don't look like it at times, but I still feel like they're the best team left in the NFL.
Yeah, they're such a complete team, and just, Stafford's decision making has been questioned sometimes this year. He is a gunslinger. Where's your cap? You have to. He is a gunslinger, like you, Tipton. But I really think that if they play like they did against the Bears, they will lose, because they weren't that complete team. They were not dominating. They were not, and Chicago, granted, they had a great year, the Crooked Commish.
I mean, it only counted for 14 yards, but that son of a bitch was in the air for 51. Imagine that. It's a 14-yard pass in the books, but all of us saw this thing in the air for 51 yards.
Yeah. But Chicago, I think, bit a little bit more than they could chew this year. They overachieved.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that is clear, that team lives or dies by Caleb Williams. Are you, or this is when the Crooked Commish connects, is he going to give Caleb Williams the keys to the car? Or is it gonna give him the keys to the Lamborghini, to the Ferrari, or is he gonna give him to the controlled Toyota Camry, which is a really nice car, but it's got its limitations. You need to really take care of it for it to last a long time. So that's the thing. Are you ready to give Caleb Williams a free ride from this point on?
I mean, I look at the talent that the Bears have, and they've got a ton of talent, right? Like, you got DJ Moore, you got Rome Odunze. Like, they've got some dudes out there in the receiving corps, especially the way that Luther Burden has stepped up during this season. Then you look at, Cole Kmet and Loveland, and the running game they have. So, I don't think you necessarily have to put it all on Caleb Williams. They're a very balanced team.
No, but I really think you do, because he makes or breaks that team.
I mean, every quarterback does, right? But, I don't feel like you have to, right? Like they're so balanced. What I would do is just focus on the defense. If their defense was a little better, they probably would have been able to win that game. But their defense let them down.
So you would give him the keys to the Ferrari for the Camry, then controlled chaos.
I'm giving him the keys to the Tesla that drives itself. That's what I'm doing.
Wow.
Jesse Carter saying, I think they were under coach Peyton or any other top tier coach would go for 2. Oof. At the EOR is what he's saying as well. I think the only issues that you can have with Ben Johnson is there were times where it's 4th and short and they're in field goal range and he doesn't kick the field goal. I get it that it's snowing. I get it that it's cold. It's this and that. But at least if you kick the field goal, we're talking about a completely different game right here. You know what I mean? And then Jesse's saying, okay, well, you go for 2. I don't think you go for 2 in that situation. Not you lose a playoff game by going for 2, we're scapegoating Ben Johnson. So it doesn't matter what happens. He's going to be the scapegoat no matter what, right? Like, sorry, it wasn't going to me. The risk of going for 2 at the end of the game in the playoffs is not worth it. Is not worth it at all. Tommy kind of agreeing with that saying as well. I don't think any coach goes for 2 with the NFC Championship on the line. I don't see it that way. You wouldn't do that in the Super Bowl either.
Unless you're the big underdog, that's when you do it.
The huge underdog. That's whenever you got to do it.
Yeah.
Or whenever you're that close, you don't want to go all in. You just have to go and give them just the tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just a Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the
Tip, my aunt is listening. Be careful.
Just a Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. I am uncomfortable right now knowing that piece of information. Just drop that on me. But go to www.myhappynuts.com/Mike Tipton. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on the best manscaping trimmer for your groin, according to Forbes magazine. Yes, Forbes giving us some love at www.myhappynuts.com. Use that promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. She gets the free pass this time.
I thought you were going to say Playboy, not Forbes.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I guarantee Tommy's sitting here right now like, wait a minute. The Augustine's aunt's right there. I got my kids in the car and you go much more hardcore than that.
Well, my aunt, I got to say hi to my aunt. Hola, tía, ¿cómo está? But my aunt, she's a professor in the university. So exactly. So, hey, aunt, he's doing his master's if you want to talk to somebody there. But anyway.
Wait a minute. Hey, whoa. Calm down with that stuff. Okay, so we've got it laid out right now, right? I think if
that's just a tip.
If you're the Bears, you just keep doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
I've said it right now. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. I don't think you agree with me. I think you'd lean more towards the Patriots because of your fandom, but I feel like we're on a collision course right now for the Patriots to make it to the Super Bowl, and for I want to say maybe Seattle, but I'm going to lean with the Rams, which is, I believe, the prediction you gave us at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Was no. Because
no, I said the Eagles. Yep.
Yeah.
I said the Eagles were going to repeat, but then I watched football.
I think you got about halfway through. You've been saying it for a while. I will say that. You've been saying it for a while that it's going to be Rams and Patriots in the Super Bowl, giving us that rematch from 2001. And I feel like I feel like you're right. Like I really feel that. I want to say Seattle's got a chance. Sam Darnold did prove to me that he can be a game manager. That's all he needs to be. But that Zach Charbonnet tearing his ACL, your lead running back tearing his ACL, that's going to come back and bite you in the ass if you're Seattle. So I'm leaning more towards the LA Rams here. What are your thoughts on there?
It's a tough. It's going to be one tough little game to play, and it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a field goal close kind of game. And the ones who have that killer instinct is the Rams.
They've been there.
And more than anything, I think if they're smart about it, they're going to go after Sam Darnold. They're going to really go after him and tell him, we're going to hit you so many times that you're just, you're going to be thinking about passing it. And he really hasn't proven to win the big game yet. He, like you said, he's a game manager. He's a Trent Dilfer. But there's a big but there. But but Trent didn't have the Rams right in front of him. So Rams win, Rams go to the Super Bowl, and Rams win the Super Bowl.
Our guy, Bo Crouch, you've seen me do a couple of shows with him before in the past, saying right now he is going with his beloved Seattle Seahawks. He lives in Seattle. Obviously, he's leaning towards Seattle. And I was thinking about this, right? You think about Seattle and you say to yourself, okay, up north, probably going to be a weather game, degrees and sunny. That's the projection on Saturday. 44 degrees and sunny. It might be snowing in El Paso, but it's not going to be snowing in Seattle up there. So I don't think the weather is going to play much of a difference. The one thing that does play a huge difference for this team, though, is that's one hell of a home field advantage they have in Seattle. And if they get an early lead, it's going to be tough. You saw how quick the 49ers crumbled with just how loud that stadium got. I don't think that stadium was like anybody in the stadium was sitting down at all throughout the whole first half or second half of that game.
Yeah, that's the epitome of that 12th man, and that decibel level just gets. I've never been to a game in Seattle, but that's on my bucket list. But every time they interview somebody, they go, "You just can't think." It's at that point where you just can't think, and I think if we were still in that golden age of the NFL, that they would penalize stadiums for being loud, this would be the most penalized team in history of the NFL.
Bo said the sentiment that I think a lot of people out there have of whoever wins the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. And I kind of lean that way too, right? Like, again, I like the Patriots. I love what they're doing there. I love the way they've been building this team. Augustine, I had to try to convince you at the beginning of the season that this was going to be a really good team. They're better than I thought they were going to be. Denver won the division the way that we predicted they would. I just can't see New England beating either the Rams or the Seahawks. And I've got the Rams right now. Like I'm leaning more towards the Rams.
Yeah, but I think the Rams is a better matchup for the Patriots than the Seahawks.
Yeah.
It's a better matchup for the Patriots, because if the Seahawks go ahead, Seahawks are going to crumple the Patriots, because that defense is just going to be so good against Drake May. You've got to remember, how old is Drake May? He's 24.
So he's only in his second year.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, he is the epitome of a game manager, because what is his percentage completion rate? 74, something crazy like that. So by the way, Tip, I can't hear you.
Damn. I hit a button.
I was just gonna let that slide. I was just gonna go, and then when you come out and go, yeah, you're right, but I can't.
I could have said the most outlandish shit, and you would have agreed with me. I missed my opportunity.
You probably did.
Anyway, so Bo says, and I didn't know this. I didn't know this was a thing. Whenever you brought it up, like I was thinking about that too. I didn't know you got penalties for being loud, and he said that they got penalties. The Seahawks got penalties for noise whenever they were playing in the Kingdom. I am like, that blows my mind. I didn't know that. When did that stop?
I don't remember. I just remember it stopped, because I mean, I don't know. I don't remember it. Just look it up while I talk to our awesome audience, and just say, who's going to be the MVP for this game, because it comes down to who's going to be the MVP, because that guy is going to take their team over the hump. I like the Rams. I want the Rams to win, but I'm still, throwing that quarter going heads or tails, heads or tails.
I am baffled right now at what I just learned, Augustine. So they enforced this rule in 1989. That was the first year that the NFL decided to enforce this rule. I was 5 years old. Explains why I wouldn't have known this thing, right? But they stopped giving excessive penalties. Like they took it out of the rule book in 2007. I don't think they threw penalties that far, right? Because Bo's telling me here, like early 90s, they basically stopped doing that. Look, what was the point of it? You want your crowd to be loud.
You got to but you also have to remember that the signals for the quarterback, they didn't have that little thing in their ear before, and it was calling the plays. They couldn't hear it and all this and that. That's what I remember in my old timer days.
Oh God, could you imagine? Like that's they try to do that now. Hush now, people. Hush. We need to get the play call in.
That would be so. Hey, people, like you would see linebackers go like this to the crowd.
I mean, you still see people doing that. Like you'll see players doing that from time to time. But
that's the offense telling their own their own crowd, hey, let us hear. That's when the popularity of the silent count, they would get to that's when it started, the silent count.
Wow, that's wild to me, dude. Like I am baffled by that. I need to look it up a little bit later, but like that's got to be one of the dumbest fucking rules I have ever heard of in my life. Sorry to your aunt. I just remembered that she was watching the show and heard me say the F-bomb. My apologies, mea culpa. I apologize. Please don't judge me.
She's judging you already.
And both saying it never worked. Seattle just got louder. I would do the same. Well, they're only going to penalize you so much. Like I feel like if you threw the flag, you're like, okay, crowd, you were too loud. They're just going to get louder.
Well, I remember, and Bo, I don't know if you remember it, if you saw it, that the refs had a natural decibel level in their hands, and you could actually, how they measure decibels, noise. They had that. I remember when I was a youngling looking at that going, what's a decibel level?
Bo, I'm interested to see if you want to come on and talk. We got a few minutes left on the show. 17 minutes or so left on the show. You want to come on and talk, I'll send you the link. If not, it's cool. I understand. I wouldn't want to talk to me either. I don't know why Augustine subjects himself to doing this at least once a week. It's wild that you do that to yourself, Augustine.
It's a pity show.
So the Patriots, though, right? Like, we're not giving Denver any chance. Like, I know we said like maybe Sean Payton does something, but there's no chance in hell, right? Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, unless they completely do the wrong, plan or whatever, and Drake May breaks both his legs on the same play, and something like that happens. No, and I'm sorry to say it, because if Bo Nix was healthy, it would have been a great game.
Man, that's so heartbreaking too, because you want to see both teams. Obviously, you're not going to be fully healthy. I don't think any team at this point is ever fully healthy, but you want to see them at least give it a go, right? Like give it a shot. Instead, it's just like, oh, you're screwed. So best of luck to you. Hopefully something works out for you in the future, because like this. The chance of making a Super Bowl comes so, like, I know a lot of people think like it's a thing that like teams are predestined to do. It comes very few and far between.
Yeah.
This is the hand you're dealt, as you're missing your starting quarterback. Two plays before the end of the game. Like, wow. I feel bad for them. And I normally don't feel bad for anybody.
Yeah, that's true. I feel bad for you having hair. It looks weird still, but anyway. It's going to be Patriots, Rams, and then I just hope my Patriots can do a miracle there and beat the Rams, and we can celebrate another patriotic, Super Bowl, MAGA Super Bowl.
I think it would be fantastic. Bo, I went ahead and sent you that link. Bo said that he was cool to join in for a little bit. I sent him that link in your Facebook Messenger. So hopefully you get on. We can talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on here. In the meantime, while we wait for him, if we see that he can join or not, let's talk a little bit about that college football national championship game.
Woo!
That was so much fun to watch. The first 3 quarters were but that fourth quarter was so much fun to watch.
And it was one of those games that you were sad for either team losing. I mean, that pass by Beck at the end, if he had it a little bit higher, he's in. He is in.
That was my thought process, is if he led the receiver a little more. If he just led the receiver a little more. I know, it's double coverage. That safety was nowhere near where he needed to be. If he had just throws it over a little more, that's a touchdown, and we're talking about a completely different game.
Yep. And respect for the Indiana players for saying, what a game by Miami. We couldn't have done this. This game would not be possible without Miami. And I think that in this era, in this NIL era, where I asked, how expensive was this championship to the Hoosiers? How much did they pay for this championship? But hey, they've got an NCAA football championship. Nobody can.
They're the first team in modern times, right? Because this is a modern thing that has won a national championship without any 5-star recruits. So, like they might have one 4-star recruit, but I know it's either one or none when it comes to the 4-star recruit. So they were just a solid team. Now I get it. A lot of, 6th-year seniors there that are taking advantage of that COVID year, and that experience does come out to play. And we saw it happen in that game, right? Like, they were the least penalized team. I think if they play that game 9 times out of 10, Miami's more than likely winning that game. But they played it this one.
I completely disagree, but I think if they play 10 times, 5 times Miami wins, 5 times Indiana wins, because they're so evenly matched. Just Miami's starting to get that 80s kind of feel where speed kills.
Yeah.
They're basically just speed on acid and whatever is going on in Miami.
I wonder what they're going to be able to do to replace Carson Beck, because he's not going to be able to come back. Like, that's it for Carson Beck. He's got to go to the NFL draft. I don't think he's going to be a high draft prospect, which is weird because he's only lost 6 games in college football, which is insane to think about. I think he's been in there, 5 or 6 years? But nonetheless, he's lost 6 games in the entirety of his college football career, and 4 of them have come down to him throwing an interception at the end of the game.
Yep.
I think that's going to be a huge eye-opener for NFL teams if they're looking for a quarterback. I see him like a 5th or 4th round pick. I don't see him in the top 3 rounds.
I don't know. We've seen other quarterbacks that have that drop down, and all of a sudden they're great quarterbacks. You probably don't remember this guy, but Vinny Testaverde, who's a classic Browns quarterback, came out of Miami. He only lost, I think, 4 or 5 games also. But he, the thing is with these high profile schools, that Miami's starting to get back to that high profile, and you'll love this name, Jimmy Johnson kind of thing.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to be there. And the thing is, with the way that college sports is at right now, they're basically pro, and I'm really saying that it's a pro team.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that I can disagree with you, right? Like, the amount of money that gets spent in college football right now, the amount of transfer that's out there, you can stack up your team and make a run. We just saw it right now with Indiana, right? Like, you can stack up your team and do amazing things. Maybe not win a national championship, but I mean, you can make some noise like Texas Tech did. The amount of money Texas Tech spent in NIL, They become the number 4 ranked team. They make it to the college football playoff, which is huge for them because they hadn't even won a conference outright since 1956. So for them, like that's huge. That's a great deal. Like NIL has, to me, kind of evened the playing field a little bit, but it's also showed us the ugly side of what college football is now.
Yeah. I think Texas Tech since Mahomes didn't matter really, and then it was since and you're gonna go, what, Augustine? You know that name since David Klingler.
I believe Bo's at a game right now. Right?
Where are you, Bo?
Yeah. Oh. Well, sorry, guys. The band just kicked off, so I'm not going to get a talk anyway.
No worries, my guy. I appreciate you, though. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, Bo.
The shortest appearance in Tipping Point history.
Hey,
I think what he was trying to do is he was trying to get somewhere before the game starts off. So if you don't know, Bo Crouch, big dude in Seattle, doing a bunch of awesome stuff out there. Covering
Bo, come on tomorrow. Bo, come on tomorrow, because without me, this is a boring show. You need to be on, Bo.
We'll try to have. We'll see. I was thinking about doing. I need to expand the Tippyverse a little bit. We need to expand the Tippyverse, and I think having some more of my friends come on would be a good thing.
Yeah, but can you change the name of it, please?
You don't want to be a part of the Tippyverse?
No.
I could tell by the look in your eyes you do.
Anyway.
Bo's out there covering the Seattle Kraken, and you can tell right now they're just getting ready. I'm looking at the time. Yeah, they're about to drop the puck. So they're making all the pregame announcements and all that stuff. You can see the look on his eyes. He was not expecting it to hit at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. It was like he connected, and the girl just started going. I thought Bo was somewhere in Japan. That sounded like Japanese to me. Sorry, everybody.
Wow.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo arigato.
What cat?
Huh?
The gato? What cat?
No. I see what you did there. Okay. So even with all the downfalls and like ugliness that we've seen out of NIL, I think you've got to give college football a little bit of credit this year, right? Because the majority of the college football playoff games were absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, completely agreed. And in regards to NIL, I've got a request, and you work for him, Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster, could you do something like that for UTEP? Could you have UTEP be competitive for a couple seasons? Please. And this is just, a request. I know it's a drop in the bucket, but please do it.
I'm not saying anything.
You can't?
There we go. So, but I mean, I would love to see UTEP become competitive. I would love nothing more. But you're right. And it's not just the Paul Fosters that are out there that need to put their money where their mouth is. It's all the people out there that are constantly complaining about what UTEP brings to the table. I might not donate much, but I'm donating.
Yeah, I give my $7,000 every single year when that little envelope comes in.
Yeah, like I do what I can. You know what I mean? And I feel like if they had more people doing that, more alums doing that, the product might be slightly better. But I also understand the thought process of a lot of people, because I'm the same way. If I'm not getting an ROI, return on investment, then I'm probably going to pull my investment out. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to leave a bunch of money. I'm not going to fund a money pit.
And here's the thing, Tipton, and most importantly, and a lot of people don't understand, and people at UTEP need to understand, they need to do community events.
Yeah.
They need to go out to the community. They don't do that. They want people just to put their money to them and them not do nothing. Excuse me.
You have to find a way to win the community back because your reputation in the community right now is not good. And I don't that's not us being super critical or anything like that of UTEP. It's just the fact of what the situation is now. It's not a good reputation in the city.
And that's not a critique to Miss Wilson, President Wilson. That's a critique to Jim Center. That's a critique to Center, to Golding, to all those head coaches, to all those players that are saying, yeah, come out to the games. Yeah, you have to build an audience first. You go out to the junior high schools, go out to the high schools. Hey, guys, we're here. Let's do a little pickup game or do a scrimmage somewhere. Even the UTEP basketball team went to Ciudad Juarez to do a scrimmage and do practices, and there were a lot of people from that practice went to UTEP games because I'm telling you, because they told me, yeah, I'm going to go, and they did.
I mean, we can't argue with you, Tommy. UTEP sucks ass. Just say it, guys. I mean, they do, and I agree with you on that. You got to have a lot more community engagement, and I think the thing that stuck out to me was seeing how upset, and rightfully so, maybe not rightfully so. I understand the extenuating circumstances that happened, but how upset people were with Duke whenever there was a miscommunication and Duke didn't make it to the children's hospital, right? I understand how that's a bad look. Not necessarily Duke's fault, but I'm not going to completely, forgive them for missing something like that because that's a huge moment for those kids.
Yep.
Etc. But if you're going to bring that energy towards Duke,
but if there's one school that was going to do that, it was going to be Duke.
Maybe Notre Dame, but but yeah, no, but that's my thing, right? If you're going to have that type of energy, bring that same energy towards UTEP.
Yeah.
Because what community events have they done? What outreach have they done? And if they are and they're not, telling people about it, they would be the first university in the history of schools to never brag about what they're doing when it comes to community engagement. Tommy's saying, I need Denver to lose Sunday so that the Dallas Cowboys can get their new defensive coordinator signed. I agree. I am just buying my time, waiting and waiting and waiting for the moment that the Dallas Cowboys can finally sign a defensive coordinator and end the nightmare, officially end the nightmare that was the Matt Eberflus era that I told all of you was going to be bad. And there were no tip, give him a chance. I told you it was going to be terrible, and it wound up being terrible.
Here's the thing. Your nightmare will continue for the next 15 years as long as Jerry's alive.
Yeah, there's that part of the equation as well. That's not a great part of the equation, but I mean, Jerry owns the team. It's not like we can just fire him.
So here's my question, Tip, and I know it's late. We're almost out of time.
Oh,
but
no.
here's the thing. Here's put on your thinking cap. Jerry dies, son takes over. What happens?
They probably get slightly better. I don't think they win another Super Bowl right away, but I think they would probably get better because I think Jerry is super meddling. He's just like any other old man. He's just putting his nose where it doesn't belong.
That sounds like Homer's dad. But anyway, Homer's dad, Homer Simpson's dad. Come on.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like Homer from the Odyssey or something like that. That's my bad.
Oh, you went the Odyssey there. Well, Achilles is going to come out and kick our ass anyway. So
that's more the Iliad, but I mean, yeah.
That literature degree is really coming handy.
I those were two of my favorite books. I know it's weird, but I love that story.
Yeah, the Iliad is great, and Brad Pitt was wonderful.
Oh, he's so dreamy. He's on the man crush list. He's on the man crush list. Tommy's saying that Steven is worse, but at least the devil the devil cashed in on Jerry's soul, and we will have a shot. Damn. It got dark quick.
Yeah. It got dark, and everybody, thank you for joining us today. Wonderful show. Tipton, Tipton and all the Tippies, have a great afternoon. Enjoy the games. Go out there and have some fun, and be careful this weekend in El Paso, and be careful everywhere. There's a huge storm coming, and it's called the Patriots.